When we talk about the strongest characters in all of fiction, debates often revolve around heroes and villains like Superman, Goku, Thor, Dr. Manhattan, or Galactus. But beyond those incredible powerhouses lies a completely different level of existence, a realm reserved only for beings who are the ultimate architects of their universes. These are not just powerful fighters. They are the ones who write the rules, shape reality, and control every atom of existence. At the absolute top of Marvel stands the one above all, and at the peak of DC stands the Presence. They are each the supreme creators of their respective universes. The burning question that has fascinated fans for years is this: can the Presence beat the one above all? And if these two ultimate beings faced each other in an actual crossover, who would win? To answer this, we must explore their origins, their abilities, and the way each is portrayed in their own universe. This isn't just a versus match, it's a deep dive into the nature of ultimate power. Origin and true nature of the one above all. The one above all, often called TOAA, is Marvel's supreme being. He is the creator of the entire Marvel multiverse. Every universe, every dimension, every timeline exists because he willed it into existence. He stands above even Marvel's most powerful cosmic entities. The living tribunal, who enforces balance across all realities, is nothing more than TOAA's servant. Entities like Eternity, Infinity, Oblivion, Lord Chaos, and Master Order are still bound within his creation. In Marvel Comics, TOAA is portrayed as a being of infinite compassion, love, and goodness, but also one of absolute authority. His power has no limit. He can create infinite realities in an instant, erase all life with a single thought, and change the past, present, and future without any resistance. Even beings who manipulate entire universes, like Franklin Richards, are still creations within his grand design. TOAA has appeared only a handful of times, and often in symbolic or indirect ways. In Fantastic Four, number 511, he meets Reed Richards in the form of legendary Marvel artist Jack Kirby, reinforcing the meta idea that TOAA is the writer and artist themselves, the true god of the Marvel universe. This makes him unique because he doesn't just exist inside the story. He is also the representation of those telling the story. His will is absolute because he is the one holding the pen. His nature is pure omnipotence. In the hierarchy of Marvel power, no one sits above him. TOAA is not a character who battles or struggles. He simply is. Every law of physics, every bit of logic, every cosmic truth bends to his will without question. Origin and true nature of the Presence. Over in DC Comics, the Presence occupies the exact same role. He is the supreme being, the first cause, and the creator of all things within the DC multiverse. Known by many names: the Voice, the Source, Yahweh. The Presence is the origin of every concept and every power in the DC mythos. The Presence is responsible for the existence of every god, angel, and cosmic entity in DC. The Spectre, the embodiment of divine vengeance, acts as his direct agent, carrying out his will across creation. Michael Demiurgos and Lucifer Morningstar, two of the most powerful beings in all of DC, are his creations. In the Sandman and Lucifer comics, Lucifer famously rebels and eventually leaves creation altogether. But even this act is within the scope of the Presence's plan. The Presence's abilities mirror TOAA's in every way: omnipotence, omniscience, and omnipresence. He exists beyond the boundaries of time and space. He can create multiverses from nothing, erase them at will, and reshape reality in ways no mortal or god could comprehend. Like TOAA, he is sometimes portrayed as a meta-character representing the writers themselves. One key difference is that the Presence is sometimes written with a more personal involvement in the events of the DC universe. He may directly speak to characters, grant or withdraw powers, and occasionally even allow events to unfold in ways that seem to challenge his direct control. However, this is more a storytelling choice than an actual limitation. At his core, the Presence remains infinite and absolute. Power comparison and limitations. When we compare TOAA and the Presence directly, it's tempting to look for an edge, some small advantage that would allow one to win over the other. But their power levels are defined in exactly the same way: total, infinite, beyond all comprehension. Both can create and destroy infinite realities. Both exist everywhere at once, know everything that can be known, and have no weaknesses in their own continuity. TOAA tends to be portrayed more abstractly. His appearances are rare and often framed as symbolic moments, which makes him seem even more unreachable. The Presence, by contrast, has been given more defined roles in certain stories, appearing in arcs involving Lucifer Morningstar, the Spectre, and the Endless. Because of this, some fans believe TOAA feels higher on the power scale, simply because Marvel rarely shows him in action, meaning his power is never tested or questioned. Another subtle difference lies in their relationship to the writers. TOAA is almost always directly tied to the real-world creators of Marvel, meaning his authority extends beyond the fictional setting into the realm of the storytellers themselves. The Presence also has meta aspects, but DC sometimes allows characters to act outside his visible influence, which can create the illusion that he is less absolute. However, this is purely narrative flavor. In terms of actual canon, the Presence is every bit as limitless as TOAA. In short, both are embodiments of pure omnipotence. And in any logical framework, omnipotence cannot be surpassed. Who would win in a crossover? If Marvel and DC ever allowed a full crossover featuring the One Above All and the Presence, the battle would be unlike anything fans normally imagine. There would be no giant punches shaking galaxies, no beams of light tearing through time, and no destruction of planets. Instead, the fight would take place on the level of reality itself, a silent, infinite contest of willpower and authorship. Picture this. TOAA alters the multiverse so that the Presence never existed. The Presence instantly rewrites reality to undo that change and alter Marvel's history. TOAA responds by erasing the battlefield entirely, making the fight impossible. And the Presence simply recreates it, unharmed and unchanged. Every move would be countered instantly, because neither is bound by time or cause and effect. This kind of battle wouldn't even be visible to ordinary beings. To the rest of the multiverse, nothing would appear to be happening at all. But on the infinite scale, the two supreme beings would be testing each other's absolute will. The outcome, however, would not be decided by power, because both have all the power there is. It would be decided by the writers telling the story. If Marvel was in charge, TOAA would win. If DC was in charge, the Presence would win. And if they collaborated equally, they would almost certainly declare it a draw, ending with mutual recognition of each other's supremacy. Final result: the true answer. So, can the Presence beat the One Above All? And can TOAA beat the Presence? The only truthful answer is no, neither can defeat the other in any definitive sense. Both are written as the ultimate beings in their respective universes. By definition, omnipotence means nothing is greater, and there can be no higher level above either of them. The only way for one to win would be for the story's creators to decide it should happen. That's it. If the battle were official, the outcome would be determined by editorial choice, not by logic or power scaling. In the purest, most accurate view, the One Above All cannot be beaten by the Presence, and the Presence cannot be beaten by the One Above All. They are equals, reflections of the same concept in two different universes. And maybe that's the real magic. The idea that in the highest realms of fiction, victory doesn't matter. What matters is the exploration of infinite power, ultimate creation, and the limitless imagination that gave birth to these gods in the first place. In the end, the result is a draw. The ultimate god battle has no winner, only the wonder of what might happen if such beings ever met. Check out my other videos for more epic character crossovers and battles. Thanks for watching, and stay happy and healthy.